Und es kann weitergehen mit Let's Play Fake Grand Order. Ich bin jetzt am Zimmerfix. Wir sind immer noch in unserem schönen Chaldea Boys Event und sind hier nun, ja, langsam an dem Moment, wo es spannend wird. Wir sind nämlich jetzt dabei, dass die große Auktion startet und wir hier hoffentlich bald herausfinden, was hier, wie es hier ausgeht, wer hier am Ende das schöne Objekt ersteigert und natürlich, wie wir da, reinpassen, denn ich bin immer noch dafür, wir holen uns einfach das Objekt, weil wir es einfach können. Naja, schauen wir mal, wie es weitergeht und deswegen würde ich mal sagen, starten wir gleich mit dem nächsten Event als Old Spider Spins Web of Memory Section 4 Triangle Mages. Ich bin mir sicher, am Ende kommt Moriarty und sagt, haha, das ist meins und ich klaue es euch. Nun gut, lassen wir uns überraschen und schauen wir mal, wer das schöne Blättlein ersteigert. Ich bin nur noch für Isomlat. Isomlat, man, sind die besten, Mann. Keiner kann was. Time for the auction, hä? Ich biete 10 QP. Alright, let's see what happens today. Come quick! The relic's been stolen. Did you say stolen? Wir sind doch nur die Barkeeper. Ich hab doch keinen Einfluss drauf. Es war Vlad. Es war sicher Vlad. This is so not good. One little push this outlet would take half at each other's throats. As we'd be caught in a crossfire, I'd rather not see what that happened. As you can see, the linden leaf, the perfect catalyst with which to summon Siegfried the Dragonslayer, has been stolen. What sort of security measures did you have in place? As I demonstrated to all the 6 of you yesterday, I didn't leave it anywhere that an ordinary thief could have taken it. True. But that wouldn't be much help if the thief was a skilled mage. Oh ho, I'm surprised to hear you willingly giving voice to your own ineptitude. That aside, I can say from what I saw yesterday that the catalyst defense focused on alerts. What does mean? It means that we should have heard an alarm blaring throughout the mansion no matter how it was stolen. That security spell has been passed on in my family for generations. But I am not a mage, so I have no real idea of how it works. You too, as mages yourselves surely understand. Magecraft may be capable of anything, but it is far from perfect. To steal the catalyst without setting off the alarm would require 2 skilled mages working together. Even I could not do this alone. So what? You're saying the 2 of us are incoherent? If you ask me, I think it's way more likely that that the owner faked this theft so he could keep his heirloom for himself. I can only say that I would never do such a thing. I have no reason to want to keep it for myself. It's nothing but a burden for me. As I play such a valuable part in Holy Grail was, there are no end of people who have designs on it. Trust me, I have no original attachment to it just because it happened to be in my family heirloom. Well then, who did steal it? Now, what do we do? This is quite a pretty prickle. Quan Ching? Given that the blame for this theft lies with Zeke, I suggest we... No, I see, it was you. Oh, interesting. Care to repeat that? No, it's okay. You don't have to hide it. I mean, you and Zeke go way back, right? It makes perfect sense for you to cut a deal ahead of time. How dare you? Yeah. Act offended all you want. It doesn't change the fact that you're still the most likely suspect. Well. I knew not to expect much in the way of manners from the man of the sea. But if you're willing to go with us into a fight, you have more guts than I thought. Just so we're clear, I didn't steal it. If anything, I had better chance in the auction. It wouldn't make sense for me to go the trouble of stealing it. I did not steal it either. If anyone here would have a motive to steal it, wouldn't that be the skilled mage with the least money to spend? Oh, makes sense to me. Your family might have a long history, but they haven't done well keeping up with the times. The reason you're taking part in the subspecies Holy Grail War is because you need money, right? Prince of Lanling and I both have money to spare, so there's no reason for either of us to assume the risk in order for stealing it.
That sounds like a challenge to me.
Wait, please wait. I'm begging you, don't fight here. I have a suggestion. Everyone here, human and mage alike, has their own possible motive and their own reason to be suspected. So I say we at least let everyone make their case to someone impartial without any stake in this outcome. I don't like where this is going.
Indeed, you have every reason not to.
Mr. Moriarty, Maxie, I'd like you two to be judges. I do not, however, want to you selecting suspects. I don't want you to determine who we can rule out. Once we know that, we should be able to resolve this.
Late und diese würden's niemals tun. Das sind die freundlichsten. I'll do my best. Schaffen schon. Inspector Moriarty?
Thank you.
However, we have one condition.
What is it?
It's simple. We can't leave ourselves open to accusations of bribery, or this will be all for naught. So I would like a mage from an opposing faction to be present during our questioning. For example, when we speak to Alexander, I would request that either Count Vlad or Prince of London be present. Though of course I will also insist that they refrain from comment during their proceedings.
That sounds safe and reasonable. I trust are you okay with that?
Am Ende war es übrigens Moriarty, der es gestohlen hat. Fine with me. And I shall go first. One of you come with me.
Alright, I'll go.
Was tust du, Vlad? Gib es zu! Du bist der Dieb, Mörder, Blutsauger. The thief is almost certainly Prince of London.
How can you be so sure?
I know that I did not steal it. And Alexander has the least reason to steal it himself. Thus, by the process of elimination, it must be Prince of London. He is the only mage here whose power is ill-suited to fighting a Holy Grail war. And if he wished to resell it, he would not want to waste his own money in an auction. Furthermore, Prince of London's magecraft is particularly well suited to thievery. He couldn't have easily used his beauty to manipulate others into doing his bidding. But let us not forget, Count Vlad, that you have just as much as a motive as he does.
They did say you've been having some financial difficulties.
That is true, but I was also quite confident in my chances at victory. I would never resort to petty lerency to acquire what I desire. And so I believe the guilty party is Prince of London and ask that you proceed accordingly. That is all I have to say.
Es war Prince of London. Wenn mein Vlad das sagt, dann hat er recht. So Count Vlad will be keeping an eye on me, huh? I think it was Alexander, though.
Why is that?
For I understand he is the most suspicious of those present by far. Yes, on the surface it may seem like he has the least motive. He is certainly the richest of us, thanks to stealing with legitimate business. But if you consider it from a different angle, wealth is all he has. He has no connection to the mage association, so taking part in a subspecies Holy Grail war is the only hope he has to advance. If he failed to win the auction, he would have nothing left at all.
I'm not sure I follow. How would losing the auction leave him of any worse than before then?
You mean you didn't know? We each had to pay an enormous fee just for the opportunity to bid. And we don't get it back if we lose. So if by any chance he did end up losing the auction, he would then be no more than a penniless third-rate mage. Whereas Count Vlad and I both have a legacy to fall back on. Seems to me that the ability or lack thereof to pick oneself up again after a setback would be a substantial motive, don't you agree?
Es ist ganz nett, es wird immer der beschuldigt, der nicht im Raum ist, ja, und Alexander beschuldigt natürlich jetzt Vlad.
Whatever the other might say, I know I didn't take it. So I can only guess it was Count Vlad.
I'm pretty sure Prince of Landing has enough money to go toe and toe with me in the auction after all. Of course, if push come to shove, he could have always resorted to trying to take it by force. But if that was his plan, he could have just waited until after the auction was over. So yeah, I think I have to go with Count Vlad here. I'm pretty sure Count has thought up some kind of plan. I'm sure he was just bluffing. He might be a talented mage, but it still would have been risky for him to come under the spotlight there. Not to mention Isa's gang doesn't seem like they'd be much help. Oh yeah, I just remembered we had a deal, didn't we? Did you find out anything useful? Ach, sagen wir das über Prince of Landing. Das mag jetzt zwar gar nicht. I don't mind you sharing what you know. Information that basic will come to light soon enough anyway. Magecraft that charms targets with beauty, huh? I'm sure it has its uses, but he'd be the first to die in a Holy Grail war, unless we had a powerful servant. But anyway, figuring out which two of them stole it isn't automatically going to bring it back. Wait, hang on. I just had a thought. Maybe someone in one of the city gangs got greedy. That relic is damn near priceless after all. Somebody might have gotten in touch with another mage to try to sell it for an even higher price. Anyway, that's all I've got to say.
Care for a drink? For you, we've got water and hydrogen monoxide. Which would you prefer?
That's just water.
You know, I can't go letting you have alcohol. Anyway, I'd say we've learned some rather interesting tidbits after so far. All of them insisted they had not committed the theft. And they all named someone different for the culprit. Money, skill in magecraft, timing. All three of them enjoy success in their one area, but none of them have it all.
Then how are we supposed to tell who did it?
A good question, to be sure. Each of them is suspicious, each had a motive, and certainly each had opportunity. And on top of all that, not one of them has an alibi. A wonderful convenient state of affairs for whoever is behind this, wouldn't you agree?
What do you mean by that? So Moriarty?
Oh, come now, don't tell me you've forgotten. This all took place in the past, so I happen to know what accused next. With each side against agent suspecting the other, the three gangs will wage a battle so fierce that it involves the entire city, resulting in tremendous loss of life. At least that is the outcome as I heard it.
Now that you mention it.
But we still have to stop that from happening, don't we? Now then. Given what we already know and just learned, I did some digging of my own. Eavesdropping on the various gang members' conversations, stealing a glance at their ledgers, that sort of thing. And as it turns out...
Well, I know a lot more than I did before, but... Oh, if it isn't the apprentice bartender. Good evening. Du bist es, Diamond, du bist böse. You shouldn't be wandering around so late at night, not with this mansion securities being so lax. It's kind of refreshing hearing him talk like this. I was born in this city, you know. I plan to die here as well. That may not mean so much to you since you're not from here, but for me, there could be no better end. But with each year that passes, it seems less and less likely. Between all the telegrams and now ships circling the globe, the world just keeps getting smaller. And while I've never seen one myself, they say they even have ships that can fly nowadays. Ships have allowed the city to flourish, and now everyone wants to share the profits for themselves. I just hope to prevent the desire of our profit from breaking out into a war. Thinking about retiring?
How did you know that?
Yes, I am. I think I've been in this game as long as I can stand. Anyway, I better be on my way. This wind is absolutely freezing.
So did Jesus finally acting his age.
My boy Iso!
You hear what that apprentice? The old man wants to retire, huh? What a joke. Once he retires, that'll be it. The city become one big battleground. Me and Chandra will be fighting each other tooth to nail for control of this place. And in the end, some outsiders just come waltzing in and take it all for themselves. The city's only going to get bigger and bigger. We can't go closing it off to the outside world. I can't blame Chandra for going wild sometimes. Frankly, people have even started complaining about them to me. They say they see them being rowdy at restaurants and getting drunk and all kind of pretty stuff like that. Are you sure you don't want to reconcile with him? Believe me, I wish it were that simple. People in our business don't take a peaceful approach seriously. They're just the way of the world. By the way, that bartender in front of yours is pretty strong, isn't he? From the looks of it, I'd say he's... Nah, never mind. You don't seem the bloody sort. Nothing wrong with that. If only the world was a little simpler. So. Jetzt kommt schon Queen. Quanching? Ich werde nie mehr seinen Namen bemerken. Oh yeah, it's the apprentice kid. You figure out who the thief is? On second though, don't tell me. I think I'd only complicated things if I found out now. I saw you gambling. Did something happen? Sounds like he's got it rough. And of course his men are all brutes. He's the only one in the gang who actually thinks before he acts. Still I know what he means when he says he wishes the world were simpler. It's been 20 years since me and my crew wound up in the city, but they still refuse to accept us. It's hard not to get a bit depressed when you can't even go out for a meal and not have it be a big deal for people to bitch about. So I decided to bring everyone together. To make the city admit they needed us. But now, we've got mages involved and we're all fighting for control of some weird relic. I don't even know what to make of this. Life is freaking bizarre and there's no knowing what's what, you know. Sounds like you've got it rough too. Some things you just have to suffer for. At least that's what I want to think. Honestly, I'd rather be living on the easy street. I mean, who wouldn't? So don't go making the same mistake I did, kid. Make sure you choose a fun life, not a hard one. Easy said and done. Krieg, Auslösung der Menschheit, Tree of Emptiness, Aliengötter. Ich habe alles erlebt, man. Tell you the what. If you ever decide to settle down in the city, that's when I'll listen to your sub story. But anyway, I probably shouldn't be seen talking with you for too long. So, see you tomorrow. Good night. Ich bin irgendwie kein Deutschweiter. Ich glaube, mit Runching war ich nicht mag. I can't say I approve of you going off on these nighttime walks before the 7. Das war trotzdem Moriarty. But then they got from all 3 gangs keeping an eye on things. I suppose the odds of something dangerous happening are... Violence! Well now, how is that for timing? But what could be possibly be thinking going after us? I'm not sure whether they are out to make a show of their incompetence or actually take out their rivals. And yet it won't matter if they manage to take us out or not. Just the fact they tried is a grievous violation of trust. Also why they would have such a deplorable length. But I'm getting ahead of myself. Once again, now is not the time. Come on, we need to fight. Ich box sie alle nieder. Right you are. That they are all firearms trained on us would seem to be clear expression of hostile intent. So I have no compunction against crushing this lot. Oh, and by the way, this may come as a surprise to you, but I'm quite potent in a fight. Alright then, let's show these goons what for my young bartender master. Okay, liebe Leute, ich tippe trotzdem mal mit Moriarty ist gestorben, Mann. Leute, es deutet alles darauf hin, man, hier ist der Napoleon des Verbrechens, oder wie es sich so schön nennt. Ach, ich muss unbedingt Shinjuku spielen, Mann. Taucht er auch auf. So, machen wir die Platte, oder? So. Arash! Nein! Nein! Lebe! Lebe, Arash! Nein!
Fast. Fast hat er es geschafft. Okay. Sehr schön. Der macht so hart Schaden, Mann. Mit so 50% Ding, Mann. Also NPC schon sehr stark. Okay, aber dann tun wir noch ein bisschen Morale-Action machen. Schade, dass man es nicht schafft, sein MP wieder zu zeigen. Ich finde sein MP so Gangster. Das ist so geil, Mann. Schauen wir uns mal Artkarten an. Ja, super nice. 10 Sterne! Egal, sag trotzdem schön meine Sterne. Oh nein, ich wollte eigentlich nicht den Zählung angreifen. Alle eigentlich aus der... Ja, Leute, Mann, gucken wir, dass wir voll locker haben. Yo, sehr nice. Oh, Moriartix ist wieder angesagt, Mann.
The Dynamics of an Asteroid!
Okay. Ich glaube, du hast bewiesen, dass du im Recht bist, Moriarty. Keine Sorge. Keiner würde was anderes sagen. Okay. Sehr schön. Also. Die Frage ist natürlich, wer diese Auftragskiller auf uns geschickt hat. Denn dieser jemand wird wahrscheinlich auch der sein, der das Artefakt hier gestohlen hat. Ich glaube, es war wahrscheinlich Ding. Oder vielleicht auch Sieg. Sieg kann man nie vertrauen. Sieg ist böse. What's all the commotion? Huh? I thought I had gunshots. Oh, don't worry. Everything's under control. Just a slight misunderstanding. I assure you we're quite alright. Now go on. Get out of here. Listen to me. If you three get mixed up in this now, it will only make the situation worse. Alright. Flangingiso, I trust you're both okay with that. Too. Fine by me. I'm going to bed. I've had enough of this shit for one day. There we go. I don't think we would have gained any pertinent information from questioning them anyway. Now then, tell me, Master. Who do you think sent those fucks after us? Diamond, Rondwing, Iso, Alexander, Prince of Lanling, Vlad III. Every one of them is a viable suspect. They all have motive, opportunity, and the money with which to hire the fucks we've been dispatched. However, just because they had motive, opportunity, and money to send people after us, doesn't necessarily follow that they did so. What do you think? I don't think any of them are the type to go after someone like that. Yes, exactly. The rules for these kind of skirmishes don't apply to you. They are, of course, citizens of the underworld and mages respectively. Were truly necessary to achieve their goals, I have no doubt they would kill us. But by that same token, they would not go out their way to kill us when there is no pressing need to do so. Anyway, tonight is the final night, making tomorrow the final morning. The morning when everyone shall draw the losing straw and lose something precious to them. Alright, Master, let's bring the case to a neat, tidy close. Liebe Leute, will er doch etwa darauf hier herausweisen, dass es jemand anders war? Vielleicht, also jetzt nicht nur, weil ich ihn nicht mag, aber vielleicht war es am Ende doch der werte Herr Sieg. Okay, liebe Leute, ich denke mal, wir werden gemeinsam eine Antwort rausfinden. Du nicht, aber du hast dich leider selbst umgebracht. Und dann würde ich sagen, geht's beim nächsten Mal weiter hier mit Let's Play Fake Order und dem Finale dieses schönen Events. Bis dahin, auf Wiedersehen.